Kate, a licensed therapist here at Talkspace, and in this video, I'd like to talk about growing from trauma. So first, what is trauma? The American Psychological Association defines trauma as an emotional response to a terrible event. And I think we can all agree that the events of 2020, really everything from the COVID-19 pandemic to everything else that was going on culturally in our world, have felt traumatic to many of us. And it's important to note that you don't necessarily have to experience the death of someone or witness something awful to have experienced trauma in a classic sense. Experiencing things like grieving the loss of your normal life pre-pandemic or being bullied in the past can all be experienced as trauma by different people. Really, so many of us have experienced some kind of trauma in our lives, and the key to addressing this is to know that we can absolutely learn and grow from it, as hard as it may have been. So here are some tips to work on growing, gaining confidence and power beyond the traumatic experience. So first, acknowledge your strengths as well as what you learned. It's easy to focus on what, elicited those negative emotions, what we wish we could have done differently, for example. But growing and moving forward requires that we take a look at what we can identify that we handled well as well. So what do we want to keep and repeat? Add that to what you would like to do differently as well. So looking at this through a lens of learning helps keep this growth mindset approach and realistically sets you up for putting your best efforts forward going forward. And why is this important? There's a term in psychology called post-traumatic growth. This growth theory talks about some key ways to grow from a traumatic experience. This can mean things like looking for some of the positive changes you've experienced as a result of a traumatic event, like the COVID-19 pandemic, and learning practices that help us regulate our emotions, like practicing deep breathing. And second, talking helps. If you're seeing a therapist, let them know you want to talk through it. If you're not, think about confiding in a trusted friend or loved one. Healing for many people involves getting it out, which can sometimes diminish the intensity of those memories. And talking can also help increase our self-compassion and grace for ourselves for what we went through. And it may lead you to framing your experience in a new and different way. Talk therapy can help you cultivate the resilience to live a life that is true and authentic to you in spite of what you may have gone through. And many of us might be struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD and not even know it because trauma can be tricky. So talking to a professional can help you learn a bit more about the signs and symptoms and then what you can do about it, which is extremely important. So if you're looking for any further resources, you can learn about lots of mental health issues like PTSD in our conditions library, and follow us on social media for ongoing content like therapist tips. And of course, you can always reach out if you're interested in learning more about seeing one of our therapists. You deserve help and you deserve to feel good. So thanks for taking this time for yourself, for tuning in, and feel free to reach out anytime. We look forward to connecting with you.